The finest result in Mikel Arteta's managerial career. That is a sentence that I just said to Ade Oladipo regarding Arsenal beating Liverpool, not only because of what it says about Arsenal, but because of the statement that it makes about Liverpool. Ade looked at me like I was wild, so I thought that we could discuss it on this video. Ade, how are you, firstly?
I'm good. You're wrong.
Okay,
you are wrong. Yeah, you are wrong. I mean, come on. This is the team that won an FA Cup trophy. It's all about trophies, all about silverware in the cabinets. It's not about individual games. And it was a big game against Liverpool. We could then put that on the same level as when they beat Man City, which was also a big game. And everyone's like, you've got to beat Man City. No Rodri, no De Bruyne. They did that as well. So
there's something more symbolic about this victory.
Why?
Because what it did, Jurgen Klopp is sort of on a farewell tour.
Okay.
He was sort of unbeaten in the league. In my definition of unbeaten, he
Agreed.
was. They'd lost at Tottenham, but I feel like they were robbed, and I don't think that result should stand. It stands in points, but if we look at them, I think Liverpool, on some definition, could have been seen as being unbeaten. Not only did...
But they're not the big dog. They're not the big dog. Although they're top of the table, the big dog is still Man City.
But the momentum was totally with Liverpool. Everybody was worried about what was going on at Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp announced that he was leaving. People were talking about a quadruple for Liverpool.
Fair.
It felt like Arsenal were also stuttering. And if you combine what the result, beating Liverpool, also in the nature that they beat them, think about what it means to who Arsenal are. Then think about what it means, the fact that they did it to Liverpool. I feel like on some definition, mate, look, I'm not particularly passionate about this. I could be wrong.
I feel like it almost says too much or too little about Arteta and Arsenal then, because it's 13 games to go. You're, what are they, second, third in the league. At the time of filming this, Man City are playing Brentford, so they could be third. It can't be that big, surely. I mean, this isn't 2 games to go where it's all in your hands and you win all the games, you win the league. It's not an FA Cup final. It's not a Champions League game. Surely they've had something bigger, more significant in Arteta's 4.5-year reign.
No, but the mystique that surrounded Liverpool in this current iteration of Liverpool, off the back of the Klopp news.
You are correct as well. Only beaten once.
Only beaten
once. And that
was
dodgy.
Looking incredibly strong off the back of this Klopp news. It felt like there was a juggernaut being built by Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
It felt like it was moving. It felt like it was almost written in the stars. Klopp announces he leaves. Liverpool batter Chelsea at Anfield. They then go to the Emirates. They beat Arsenal at the Emirates. All of a sudden, this Liverpool train, this momentum,
this juggernaut just keeps on going. And there is a bit of truth to that. I did feel like I'm never really confident going to the Emirates. As a kid, I was never confident Liverpool going to Highbury. But for some reason, approaching this game, even with the players out, Salah, whatever, being out, young Conor Bradley, I thought, we'll do them.
Also,
I thought we'll do them.
Say you had beaten them.
Yeah.
Off the back of the run that Liverpool were on.
Yeah.
The result against Chelsea, scoring 4, deserving 8,
man.
beating Arsenal,
Yeah.
pretend in this sort of parallel universe. Their next fixtures, Burnley, Brentford, Luton. They win those, say, off the back of beating Arsenal.
Yeah.
They're going into the Manchester City game full steam ahead.
Full steam ahead.
That is
and
why.
A full complement of players as well, because by that time, everyone's back. Even Thiago Alcantara got a few minutes the other day. And you're right, and you can go a week further back and say, beat Bournemouth at Bournemouth, which might not sound glamorous, but that's a Bournemouth team, one of the form teams in the Premier League. Beat Chelsea, and by the way, beat Bournemouth comfortably. Beat Chelsea comfortably, battered Chelsea. You're right, going into this game, it was a lot. And Arsenal just dampened it.
And
Arsenal
they looked
just
brilliant. Like, let's face it,
mate,
they dominated. They deserved the victory. They were
outplayed
brilliant.
them for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10.
You had a good 10-minute period.
Yeah, second half, 10 minutes where we came out and thought, okay, we're in this game by luck, by default, because of Saliba's mistake. Let's go for it. And Arsenal, once again, almost by luck on their part as well, just went up another gear.
Also,
and we had
Arsenal,
nothing. We had no gear.
Arsenal had a finisher, like a proper finisher. I don't think that they're going to struggle for goals, by the way. I don't think they need a goal scorer. I think they probably have enough goals in the team. But if they did have a proper finisher, I mean, like Ian Wright.
I'm talking a finisher that scares you.
Yeah,
right. Like when
right.
righty. Someone just like,
because there was that moment, Jorginho. He kind of came to him on the edge of the box, and he played brilliantly, and he did this incredible move, which was very ambitious for him. Usually, he's quite a conservative player, quite reluctant to make a mistake, and therefore does the simple things well, but does the simple things. Played this pass, like pinpoint, bullet pass, where he kind of dummied the shot, comes to him on the edge of the box, sprays it fast and hard. You know the way that you would, sort of the way that you hit a snooker shot, bang.
Okay, yeah.
Dead right into the path of, I think it was Odegaard who was lurking in the area when everyone thought he was going to shoot, and he just played him in. If that is into right, it's a goal.
Yeah.
And, Jorginho being so ambitious, so advanced, so forward-thinking, it was such a good performance from Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I suppose it begs the question now, can this get their title credentials back on track? Because as much as I thought they were going to win the league at the beginning of the season, kind of wrote it off the back of those 2 consecutive London derby defeats. Losing consecutively to West Ham United at home, breaking the illusion of the Emirates.
Yeah.
And then following it up, going 1-0 up away from home at Craven Cottage to Fulham and getting beat.
Yeah.
That just didn't look like a team that could win the league to me. But now, beating Liverpool, I wonder.
Their biggest problem was 2 things, isn't it? It's Klopp and it's Guardiola. It's Liverpool and it's Man City. It's 2 teams that know how to do it, have players in both squads that have done it, a manager that, as you say, is on the way out and wants to go out of a bang. Every single game at Anfield is going to be like a European night. I think we've seen that. If you go there, you should expect to lose because it's an atmosphere that's incredible. And I think for Arsenal, if you remove City and Liverpool, all their star players need to be at 9s or 10s now. Saliba and Gabriel need to be the best centre-back pairing. Saka needs to go back to where he was last season. Odegaard needs to go back to where he was last season, being compared to Kevin De Bruyne. And even though Martinelli had a fantastic game, he's not hit the heights of last season either. Declan Rice has been fantastic.
Wasn't he brilliant though, Martinelli?
Oh my God.
When he burns him up.
When he does that, when he puts the burners on, I don't think there's a faster player in the Premier League.
And there's nothing you can do about
it.
it.
And he moves with the ball. The hardest thing to do, as you know, we watched from football for years, is run with the ball at that pace. Henry-esque.
Yeah.
Some people just can kick it and run and chase it.
No, it's
if you can have the ball,
dribbling.
It's insane.
No,
so if they can get all of those, 6 or 7 players on Son, then yes, but they've all been a bit off.
But just think
all
about...
been a bit off.
When you think about who wins the league, not always, but generally speaking, if you create mini leagues within the league.
Yeah.
So... generally speaking, the team that goes down will be the team that loses the mini league out of the teams that are currently 15, 16, 17,
Agreed.
Right? I think at the top of the league, you have the same thing. And
how many teams are in that mini league at the top?
Well, let's say 3. There are at the beginning of the season, there are only 3 teams that could win the league.
Okay.
And if there are 3 teams that can win the league, the mini league, Arsenal have taken 3 from 3 against City and 4 from 6 against Liverpool.
But still sit third.
Yeah, but top of the mini league.
Yeah, top of the mini league. But where would they rather be?
Yeah, of course.
Top of the league.
Of course, but there is still
considerable... Arsenal's shown now. Arsenal's shown. They've closed the gap massively. And I will credit Arteta with that. Yes, there's a lot of spending. Everyone's spent money. Everyone. They've closed the gap. They're no longer a soft touch. Remember, there was all this thing about they're all small and they can't kick you and you can't fight. Declan Rice will fight any midfielder. He's big, he's strong. Saliba and Gabriel might be the biggest centre-back pairing.
Yeah.
They're monsters at the back. So he's done well.
And there's only 2 points in it. Like, had they lost, I think, do you know what? Another way in fact, this is tapping into my theory that it was Arteta's biggest. Everything we said for me to justify that it was Arteta's biggest result. I've got another
I think it's
metric,
too early.
another reason for it to be Arteta's biggest result.
Go on.
Imagine if he didn't win it. They're 2 points behind now. They would have gone 8 points behind.
Yeah.
They would have been looking at what Tottenham are getting up to. They'd have been looking at what Villa are getting up to.
Yeah.
We would have been talking, they've bottled it again.
Yeah, with the money spent as well. You spend, 250 million in the summer.
And instead of that, they're
right there.
They're right there. They're back in a title race. Whether you think they're favourites for the title race, whether you think they are going to ultimately win it, it's kind of neither here nor there. The season is well and truly underway.
I just think I can only go, and look, some will say, Ade, come on, it's a different Liverpool team, and to an extent it's a different City team. But I just go with 2 teams that know what it takes to go all the way to the end. And yes, Liverpool have lost it by a point here and there to City at times, but that's not because Liverpool have dropped points, it's because City haven't dropped anything. So those are 2 teams that, when it comes to you've got to win your last 10 games, not draw, win. These are 2 teams I know that can do it. Arsenal, we've seen it with them. And look, last season was a good season, by the way. I know some people like to critique it. I thought it was a good season, but when the going got tough, unfortunately, they didn't get tougher.
That's true.
They didn't do it. And I don't know, when the pressure really gets to them, when it really gets to them, as you said to me today when we was doing Talk Sport, this is a team that are highly strung.
Yeah,
and sometimes
emotional.
It's very emotional
team.
And sometimes that's good, right? It gets you through a few games, but sometimes it's like, calm down, gents.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Although, is stopping the Liverpool juggernaut worthy of the celebration?
think so. I don't mind it. Honestly, I'm not against celebrating. I'm not against it at all. I mean, I've got a manager that ran on the pitch. You know, against Everton when we desperately needed those 3 points, when Origi scored that goal, he's run up and down touchlines.
But is it too like what I can't work out? And I wonder if there's a science. You know how they've managed to create a science about expected goals? Is there a science to over-celebrating? Like, what's the problem with it? Is it being too emotional? Is it premature celebration?
You know who used to do that all the time? And they've stopped it now, and rightly so, because they don't win anymore. Newcastle used to take a picture
they were terrible for it.
of their changing room
yeah.
every single game.
Yeah, they win a game.
What have you done?
I know.
Have you noticed that, obviously, those pictures have all stopped?
Yes.
So you can go a bit too far.
Yeah.
And maybe Odegaard did a little bit, but...
I'll tell you who will agree with us that it's Arteta's biggest result ever.
Go on. Arteta.
Guardiola.
Yeah.
Guardiola. Is he the real victor from that game of football at the Emirates?
Well, yeah, he's the one that would have been at home watching it. For two reasons. Not just because Arsenal won, but it stops what he thinks could have been a Liverpool run of not losing until the end of the season, because he's been there before, that team. So he's probably thinking, I don't know if we can go 90 points again. I don't know if I've got the squad to go 90 points. Because you look at City's squad, it isn't the thickest, by the way. You'll look at that now and think, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, I just wonder when I think about what happened to Liverpool. The easiest thing to do is to kind of talk about maybe Alisson's blunders or the defenders waiting for the goalkeeper, not just, if in doubt, kick it out, not adopting that policy. But Arsenal were brilliant, weren't they?
But mate, we had the FA Cup win at Highbury, at the Emirates, and look, even then Arsenal played better. We just kind of nicked it on the break, if you would. But when they came to Anfield, they're a problem for us. Even last season when they were 2-0 up and they should have won the game. For some reason, I wouldn't say he's got Klopp's number, but he's kind of worked out that kind of high pressing style, because they kind of do something similar. They've got young legs, we've got young legs. They're a problem for us. Yeah. And that's why I'm happy you only see them twice a season in the league. Because that Arsenal team is a big issue.
But the way that they elevated, you had at various points, something that I can't believe I'm saying these words, but Kai Havertz was dealing with Konate. Jorginho was dealing with Alexis McAllister. In fact, Jorginho was dealing with everyone. It didn't matter whether it was Alexis.
All the midfielders.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't matter whether it was Harvey Elliott or Alexis McAllister.
You've got to go there, and you've got Liverpool can't go there and be City. And
are you scared of Arsenal now? League-wise.
City.
So, in your opinion, you're only chasing City.
Yeah, only chasing City.
Do you reckon? I know it's very difficult.
I think if you were to ask, Pep, now if you can get his number and call him Pep, who are you worried about? 100%. He says Klopp and Liverpool.
Yeah.
Not that he doesn't have a passing eye on what Arteta's doing in Arsenal, because they're a formidable force. But it'll be Klopp. So it's not even necessarily Liverpool. It's Klopp.
Do you reckon that he would rather chase Arteta with a point gap, Arteta with a 5-point gap, or Klopp on the same level?
Arteta with a 5-point gap.
Yeah, I wonder.
If you gave him the two.
Yeah, 10 games to go. 10 games to go, 5-point gap. 10's a lot.
I was going to say now, where we are now.
5-point gap.
5-point gap now. Chase Arteta. Klopp same points. I'll chase Arteta.
It's amazing.
I'll chase Arteta.
It's amazing. It's a brilliant result for Arsenal, though, and like the big players, who a lot was expected upon, stood up. There we go.
But if they get their other players back, then it's a force. If they can somehow get Partey back for 10 games, Julian Timber for a few games, Jesus fit, you never know.
Yeah, if they get that midfield that they've been dreaming of, the Rice, Partey, Odegaard midfield.
I don't know how many
times
they've had
it once. They've had it once the entire season. Yeah. If they had that, it's different.
It's a different thing. And this could be the same conversation we had about last season about Saliba and Gabriel didn't play with each other.
There we go. This has been fun. Enjoyed
Always
this.
Fun. We talk Arsenal. Good
Thank you so much for watching this video. Really do appreciate it. Please do me a favour before you go. Make sure that you subscribe to Ade Oladipo's YouTube channel. The link is in the description below. Really appreciate your support over there. He's got some fantastic content coming up as well.
I do.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and we'll see you all in the next video.